remote bond hearings. Everyone needs to, whatever courts they practice in, needs to go Google EOIR standing orders and look to see what your specific court's COVID-19 protocols are. And those standard orders are pretty specific. They're not the same for all courts. It's not like the Immigration Court Practice Manual or the Board of Immigration Appeals Practice Manual. They're individually issued by the Assistant Chief Immigration Judge for each court. So you need to be wary of those standing orders. A lot of times so for a period, and this is different for all courts, but initially the detained immigration courts had set up an email address that you could send filings into because they didn't want people sending in hard filings because of COVID. In Adelanto, and my jurisdiction, that ended a few weeks back. So we can't do that anymore. And I found myself at the FedEx yesterday overnighting some documents to the court to make sure they get there. All of that information was detailed in the standing order that the Assistant Chief Immigration Judge had set out. And then there was an amended order that said that that email address, that filing email address, was no longer available. There are specific instructions about what you're supposed to label your filing. It has to have an actual special name on it if you're going to file it electronically. Because of the COVID outbreak in Adelanto, a lot of my clients have been getting shipped down to San Diego and some of the Arizona detention centers because they just don't have bed space in these COVID outbreak facilities. I mean, it's an absolute atrocity. I'm not going to get into that. That's not what this session is for. But though a lot of courts have, if you have a EOIR number, if you're an immigration court practitioner, then you do have an EOIR number, then you have access to their online portal where you can see all of your case information. You can see your calendar of hearings coming up. In that portal, some of the courts have an electronic filing system. It's called eCast, and you can upload documents through that eCast system. So I never really used the eCast system until COVID, and it's been extremely helpful for my practice to be able to upload those documents instantaneously. Something that I have run into is when you upload your files, the files will say that they're 404 not found, and an error will come up. It takes about an hour to 90 minutes for those documents to upload. And what can happen is if the clerk, some of these eCast systems are new in the courts and the clerks don't always know how to use the system. They're new to it as well. And they'll see that they can't see your documents and they'll reject the filing. So, and they actually need to wait about 90 minutes or so for that document to be able to be viewed. So sometimes if you get a rejection like that and it says, no filing is present, I can't see the filing, call up the clerk and say, hey, can you wait about 90 minutes and then try to view it before you reject it? For me, that was about a whole 4 hours of a morning dealing with that. So don't let that happen to you.